Next, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says the US will have to drop its, quote, excessive demands if a deal is to be reached over its nuclear program. It comes after the two sides concluded a day of negotiations in Geneva on Thursday. Oman's foreign minister said significant progress was made during the talks, where Iran continues to reject US demands that it stop the enrichment of uranium, insisting that its nuclear program is peaceful. Negotiations come after repeated threats by President Donald Trump to launch military strikes against Iran if it does not make a deal to curb its nuclear program. Well, France 24's international affairs editor Philip Turle is with me. Good to see you, Philip. So the two sides are talking about significant progress during these talks that happened yesterday. What does that mean exactly?
It's a bit unclear to know exactly what they mean. I think what we're seeing here is gradual progress towards some kind of deal on Iran's nuclear enrichment program. Remember, this was the third time that these two sides have met indirectly, first in Oman, then twice in Geneva. They've now agreed to move forward to what they call technical talks in Vienna on Monday, which will be in the presence of Rafael Grossi, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is based there. So this is all giving credence to the idea that there is some movement towards sorting out the standoff over the nuclear program. And then the two sides will meet again for a fourth round after those technical talks on Monday. What appears to be coming out of this, Yinka, is that Iran is going to be allowed to enrich uranium at a minimum level after a 3 to 5 year suspension period, which will take us up to the end of Donald Trump's mandate in the White House. And then under international monitoring, it will be able to begin enriching uranium again purely for domestic and peaceful purposes, but is not allowed to stock it. And what the US up until now has been calling for is for that stock of enriched uranium to be shipped to the United States and for their campaign of enrichment to come to an end totally. That's something that's been ruled out by the Iranian authorities. So little by little there is some progress. And on top of that, there appears to be also a move towards lifting some sanctions against Iran, which is something that the leadership there, the Iranian regime, has been calling for a long time.
Well, the message coming from the White House has been quite unclear. Can you break down for us what Donald Trump's objectives and options are at this point?
Well, the big problem for Donald Trump is, will he launch targeted attacks or not? He said, OK, we've reached the agreement on nuclear weapons, or that seems to be on the way, but there is no end to the ballistic missile program, which he wants. That's a red line for Iran, and no more support for proxies, the Houthis, Hamas and Hezbollah. That's also something that's been ruled out by the Iranians. And as far as Donald Trump's possible outcome, if there is an attack against the Iranian regime is concerned, all of those outcomes are pretty negative for the US president. The regime could come out of this strengthened, which is something that nobody wants, apart from the regime, of course. Regime change could usher in democracy, but that's still a long shot. There could be military rule afterwards if the regime falls, or chaos. There could be attacks against Israel or military bases in the region that belong to the United States. Donald Trump doesn't want to have to deal with any of those scenarios in an election year with the midterms coming up, and he's always been the president of the phrase that he doesn't want to stalk and give credence to forever wars. He wants to end wars, which is why he's saying he's ended 8 wars. He doesn't want to start another one right now with Iran.
Well, the prospect of the US launching military airstrikes on Iran has been looming over these talks. What are the possible scenarios here?
Well, I think there is a problem for the US, and that is that many officials in secret have been expressing concern that without troops on the ground, none of this is going to be effective. Even though there is this enormous armada in the Gulf, it's only going to have a limited effect on the Iranians if there is an attack. That's basically because there is not enough military power in that armada to last for more than a week. Generals in the US have said that there is a lack of munitions and a lack of resources. And also this armada needs to be constantly serviced and looked after. It's very expensive. And the other problem for Donald Trump is that if the armada is based in Iran or off the coast of Iran, what happens if it's suddenly needed elsewhere in the world? If there's an unexpected attack against US interests, it won't be there. So this has got to be sorted out pretty quickly quickly. And the Iranian regime knows that. So that's put them in a stronger position when it comes to negotiating with the Americans.